than this nonsense?
When I spoke to my father, he told me that it wasn't his.
Who do you believe the father is?
Do you know? Her husband, Mr. McCrory.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, wait a minute. That does not say boo-boo the fool. You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of McCrory versus Mentos Smith.
Thank you, Ron. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. McCrory, you and your husband claim the defendant's ex-husband, Mr. Gino Bailey, who recently passed away, fathered your 3-year-old daughter, Nevaeh. You say you will return to court to fight for your share of Social Security death benefits after today's test proves he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Nana.
Ms. Smith, you and your daughter say it would be medically impossible for your ex-husband to be the child's biological father and state the McCrorys are in this only for the money. Ms. Smith, how can you be so sure that your ex-husband isn't the father of Miss McCrory's baby?
Because she's in it for the money. That's
really
all she wants is the money.
Why do you say that?
This is the proof of the survival benefits that my daughter...
I'd like to see that. Will you pass that to me, Ron?
Well, the thing is, I believe I have every right to the money. Because if it's, he's the father of her, I know 100% he is, and he should support her.
Go.
But you understand that Ms. Smith nor Ms. Minto, they don't have anything to do with how the Social Security office divvies out death benefits. You understand they are not in charge of that.
Yes, I do.
If she believed that my late ex-husband was the father of her child, why didn't she get a DNA test before he died? Why did she wait until after he died and then 2 days later messaged my daughter and asked for her to give a DNA test?
So you're saying the timing of this is off?
Yes.
So that's a good question, Ms. McCrory. Why did you wait?
I didn't wait. I heard when I was with her father, Gino, he actually would want to take a DNA test, but he wouldn't because of his current girlfriend he was with, because she didn't want him involved with me. I know that he's the father to my child because he's the only one I'm sleeping with. So she has a right to the benefits. He should support her.
He can't support her if he's dead.
I believe that all she wants is the money.
I see this is upsetting.
Okay.
It's hard to hear people talk about your dad and the fact that he may potentially have another child, Miss Minto.
I really don't care if she is my sister. I won't have nothing to do with it. Because I had 19 years and I want to remember my father the way he was, being his only little girl. Yep. When I spoke to my father, he told me that it wasn't his. He said there's no possibility, she looks nothing like him.
And then you chose to believe your father. That's what you were told.
Yes, I believe my father.
Okay. In your court papers, you also say that it is medically impossible for Ms. McCrory's child to be your sibling. How is that the case? Explain it.
He had a medical condition that was to do with the XY chromosome. If he had gotten someone pregnant, it could end up as a miscarriage.
Wow, okay. You told me he cannot have kids.
Will you let me speak, please?
Well, you're lying.
I'm not lying. I have the proof right here.
All right, let me see this paperwork. Ron, can you pass
this
it to me, please?
This is the proof from the chromosome specialist.
Two different
from where I live, from in Massachusetts, where I'm from. It took me 3 years to get pregnant with Sierra when I was married to my late ex-husband.
Okay.
Miracles do happen.
Okay. They have called Sierra a miracle baby. She has inherited the same chromosome as he had. This is the reason why she is having a hard time conceiving. We told her that he had a medical chromosome condition.
He did not.
And she sat right there and called us a liar, that it wasn't true.
So you're saying you did inform her?
She was informed.
Because let's be honest, if in fact this Nevaeh is in fact his biological daughter, the same issue your daughter has inherited, she potentially could have inherited.
Exactly.
So the stakes are even higher here. There's the paternity issue. You're saying there's also the survivor's benefits issue, potentially. And now there's a medical condition at issue.
She might not have known of the medical issue at that point when she was with him. But we, both my daughter and I, told her about it, and she called us a liar.
So,
It's not, because I'm going by what he told me.
Ms. McCrory, let me, we've had a lot of talk about the deceased. I have to ask you this. During that window of conception, that time, were you intimate with anyone else?
No. Up until I was intimate with him from August until November.
And there was no one else in the picture. Do you remember the night you believe you conceived?
Yes. I mean, there was brown sheets with flowers and everything, and we did it like all night long. 3 times.
That I can guarantee.
Well, you know what? You must not know. Maybe you weren't good enough then.
I was married to the...
Okay, hold on. And let's keep the testimony respectful. So you believe that was the time you
Yes.
conceived? And shortly thereafter, that's when you found out you were pregnant and informed?
Yeah, after we kind of like drifted apart because I wasn't going to be with a male whore. I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's what he was.
And one of his relatives even said growing up, they called him male gigolo. And there's even another child saying that he's her father out there.
Yeah, now that he's dead.
No, it was
She's always said it to me.
she's always said it when
But
he's
you know
alive.
what? We're not here to discuss anybody else. We're here to discuss your child.
Yeah, my
You know
child.
what? You're making my late ex-husband turned out to be
That's
some
what he-
kind of idiot, but in
No, he's
reality,
really not. No,
I know
honestly,
you're
he's not.
lying.
He was a good man.
That's why you called him a man whore.
Well, that's what he is.
I think Nevaeh looks like Mr. McCrory.
Ms. McCrory, who's on the birth certificate?
My husband.
When it comes to 3-year-old Nevaeh McCrory, it has been determined by this court, Mr. McCrory, we got bigger fish to fry than this nonsense.
Was the father of her child. Why didn't she get a DNA test before he died?
So, Ms. Smith, who do you believe the father is?
I
do
think
you
it's her
know?
husband, Mr. McCrory.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, wait a minute. You believe that the
God.
child's real biological father is her current husband, Mr. McCrory, and you believe this is a plot. This is a conspiracy
I wasn't
between the
even
two of them
with
to
her.
try to get the survivor's benefits.
The whole situation is that my late ex-husband is very dark-featured. His daughter, very dark-featured.
Really?
Okay, I think Nevaeh looks like Mr. McCrory.
Ms. McCrory, who's on the birth certificate?
My husband. I can explain
okay,
why.
so why?
I know, I can explain
Do you
why.
have the birth certificate with you? I'd like to
Yes, I
see
do.
that.
No, we do.
Ron, let me see this birth certificate.
I took responsibility because he didn't want to. He said that he was
Because I
about
was
to
one
get
and
rid
only.
of...
You're not his one and only. He said that. I don't want to be involved because my daughter's going to be 18. I don't have to pay child support, and I don't want to pay again.
I
He had
wasn't
to pay
18.
child support till she was 21 years old.
He said 18 to me.
No, it was 21.
Well, that's what he told me.
All right, ladies, let's get some control. This is the certificate of live birth. The child's name, Nevaeh McCrory, and father's name is listed as your current husband, Keith McCrory. Now, Mr. McCrory, you said you stepped up to the plate because he didn't want to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So by the time the child was born, you were married to Miss McCrory, or you all were dating?
We were dating. He knew that he was the father because there was several times I met him in a drugstore and ran into him, and he's sitting there saying that, oh, she's got my eyes, and smirking at me, oh, she's got my fangs. She looks just like me. And he actually texted my wife at the day of birth and said, congratulations, and can I see her?
Really?
Yes.
He did.
And you saw this text?
Yes, he
Yes, I
did.
did.
He was with us the day your daughter was born.
He texted me on my cell phone.
And why would a man want to step up to be a father of someone else's father that was
He's not
well in
the
alive?
father.
Yeah.
When I got with my...
Are you stupid?
Obviously.
I went to every doctor's appointment. I went to the ultrasounds, and then I was basically with her for the whole pregnancy, which she wasn't. And so I fell in love with that child, and I'm going to be with her for the rest of my life and get married to her. So why not take responsibility for somebody who couldn't? He denied.
You just wanted to step up to the plate for a child born to the woman you love and you plan to spend the rest of your life with.
Yes.
So you thought you were doing the right thing.
Yes. I put it up there because, it's just saying, I can't wait for her to meet her sister.
That does not say boo-boo the fool. You did not put this on that page with any good intention.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, Mr. and Ms. McCrory, you are so convinced that Ms. Mento's dad is the father that you submitted some photos.
Yes, Your Honor.
On the left, we have photos of Nevaeh.
His fangs and her fangs.
And then on the right, Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
No resemblance.
And they're in the same spot and everything. The eyes, they're big, huge, they got the same setting.
Her eyes are bigger than his.
So the court obtained photos of Nevaeh, pictured on the left, and Ms. Mento as a child on the right. Do you see a resemblance there?
No.
Yeah,
No.
different hair color, but the facials, the nose, the mouth, it
No.
looks just like.
You're going to say no because you don't want it to be true.
No. I'm not going to sit
That's
here and
what it is.
lie. If she looked like my daughter, I'd say she did. I don't believe she does.
The fact is she's still in love with him and she can't see anybody else with him, sleep with him, or
He
anybody
actually
else
told me
having
that
a
once.
child.
How you're all still in love with him, always bugging him.
always
You know
be in
what,
love with
something?
him.
He
She
was
has
my
to
true
know.
love and my only love, okay? He never even liked you.
Well,
I
he
was
must
the
have
one
liked me to
that
want
stared at him.
to sleep with me.
She has done nothing but harass my daughter
Nope.
for 2 years.
Nope.
And I have some proof. From,
Yeah.
We made a memorial.
That's what I want to see. Is
We
some
made,
proof.
we made him.
Ron, let me have that proof. What is
made
this
a
proof
memorial
of?
in honor of him when he died. So they decided to go onto the memorial page and message the administrators, which is me, myself, and my son-in-law. And this is just some of the stuff that they text or wrote to me.
So you put up a memorial page.
I'm the one that made it.
You did for your dad once he passed away. And then you got messages that said from the McCrorys, listen, you're not daddy's only little girl. Newsflash. And a message that said, don't worry, you'll meet daddy's girl soon. Hope you're a good big sister.
Yeah, that's.
Why would you put this up on the memorial?
I put it up there because, it's just saying, I can't wait for her to meet her sister, and, I want other people to know that.
No, this did not have a good intention. And let's not pretend.
And
Hold on. Now, I want to hear the testimony, but don't feed me. Listen, that does not say boo-boo the fool. You did not put this on that page with any good intention.
No.
But see, this is the thing.
So why do that to her after her father passed away?
We've been harassed for 4 years. She would make fake profiles of my wife and my stepdaughter.
So in other words, you're doing this to get back at her.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to get angry.
Right, so don't testify in the beginning that you were doing it because you were so happy for her to meet her little sister. That's a lie. Just tell the truth from the get-go. You think I can't sit here and see that this has been years of back and forth drama between you all? So all I'm saying is, don't feed me a bunch of lies like I'm going to believe that when you know good and well you had no good intention behind sending that. Just say, we've been on a Facebook social media war, and I wanted to get back at them. I might not like it, but at least I know it's not a lie.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm done with this. Ron, give me the results.
Yes, ma'am.
Fake profiles, fake. Everybody fake. No, really.
Yeah.
This is just a mess. There is a child, a 3-year-old child, that has no clue who her father is. And if Mr. Bailey is her biological father, he's deceased.
But
We got bigger fish to fry than this nonsense. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Ms. Smith, you have testified today that you believe Mr. McCrory is in fact Nevaeh's biological father.
Yes.
We had him tested. In the case of McCrory v. Mento Smith, when it comes to 3-year-old Nevaeh McCrory, it has been determined by this court, Mr. McCrory, you are not the father.
Thank you.
Told you. Are we ready for the next result?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased, Gino Bailey, we perform what's called a sibling test in order to determine if Nevaeh McCrory is the sister of Sierra Marie Minto. Both Rose Marie McCrory and Tina Marie Smith were also tested in order to determine if there is a viable relationship between Nevaeh and Sierra Marie. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Moving forward with the results in the case of McCrory v. Minto Smith. It has been determined by you are not the father.
Thank you.
Told you. Moving forward with the results in the case of McCrory v. Minto Smith. It has been determined by this court that Nevaeh McCrory and Sierra Marie Minto are not related.
Yes.
Told you.
Yes, told you.
Now we're both even.
Now the harassment can stop.
Yeah, well, then maybe you better find out who your baby daddy is.
Maybe. Miss McCrory? Yes. Why don't you look surprised? You just, I read the result, and honey, you just flipped that page right on to the next and went to arguing over at Miss Smith. Now, you testified here for a good 30 minutes of my time that there was no other possible father in the world. When I read the results, moving on, I have to ask you, do you know who your child's father is?
I know who, but I'm not saying in here.
You don't have to tell me the name. I just want to know if you know.
Yeah.
Because that's what's important.
But I'm not saying it.
I'm happy if this whole situation with Nevaeh and her real biological father can be solved in the living room instead of the courtroom. Trust me, we're here as a last resort. We are here for families who need us because they can't get down to the bottom of the situation without us. That's what we do here. But if you can leave out of this courtroom and dial that man's number and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you, I have some information, and you all never have to come see me, thank you, Lord. No, really. We have counseling for you. Take advantage of it. I see you're in tears, Miss Smith.
It's happy tears, though.
Absolutely. Because that's your little girl.
Yep.
Do right by Nevaeh. She's such a beautiful little girl.
Yes, she is.
I wish you all the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.
Closed captioning provided.
Is known as the neighborhood girl. Everybody slept with her mom.
Put yourself in her shoes for a minute. This girl is just running around trying to figure out who her real father is. Why didn't you try? If you knew it was a possibility, stand up and be a man for your kids.
I have strong genes, and my genes are not there.
Throughout my childhood, I went through so much, and I'm carrying it.
Don't tell people I'm your dad when you don't know the truth.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ron.
This is a case of Fuel v. Burnett.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Miss Fuel, you say that Mr. Burnett is refusing to admit that he is your biological father. You say the only reason he's denying you is because he would rather drag your mother's name through the mud than take responsibility for his actions. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Burnett, you say Miss Fuel has been given false information about her paternity, and she used that to badger, humiliate, and harass you. You admit to having a sexual relationship with her mother, but say there are many other guys, and you couldn't possibly be her father.
Exactly.
Miss Fuel, so you're 31 years old. What happened that made you finally want to establish paternity?
Well, Your Honor, in September of 2015, my brother was murdered.
I'm so sorry.
For no reason, and that really opened my eyes. I mean, I went through a deep, dark depression. I've lost 90 pounds just off of depression and stress, and it's opening my eyes. Life is really short. I shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't even have to bring him here to prove that he's my father. I just want closure, Your Honor. That's all I want.
And you believe Mr. Burnett, that she's just badgering you?
That's what I believe.
Why do you think she would even do that?
I don't have no idea really why. You know, she's been my niece.
Through marriage?
Yes.
So when were you told that she believed you potentially could be?
I've never heard of it until like about 2 years ago.
Really? So
Really?
You didn't talk
Really?
to my mom when I was
Never.
a kid?
Never talked to your mom about nothing
So
until
the
about
night-
2 years ago. I was told by a family member and
What were you told by this family member?
that she looks like my family.
So for you, it just came out of the blue like
Yes.
that.
That's a lie.
But that's not how it happened for you.
No, my mom told me the night she was in labor, he was at a party and he was going around telling everybody, oh, Michelle's at the hospital having my baby.
That's a lie.
31 years ago.
That's a lie.
So she admitted to having a relationship with him.
Yeah.
I've never been in no
was grown
relationship
man.
with her mom, period.
So did you always grow up knowing he was your father, even though he would call you his niece?
At the age of 7, this same family member told me that he was my father. My mom never.
You're lying.
So my mom never told me Walter was my father. She told me as an adult. She was embarrassed that he was my father. That's why she never came to me and said that. It was this other family member that told me that.
She's embarrassed. Her mom was the one that's known as the neighborhood girl. Everybody slept with her mom. All my friends did.
That's a lie.
Did you?
True.
That's what we're trying to get
Yeah, I
down to
did.
the bottom of. So
Yeah,
you
but
did sleep with your mother.
I did, amongst 20 of my friends.
So
How do you know that? Were you there?
They told me.
you did have sex with her mother. Do you know whether it occurred during the window of conception?
No.
It didn't.
Not to my knowledge, no way.
But you were told that it did, Miss Fuel.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And you were told that he is your biological father.
Then why ain't her mom here?
Hold on. Don't come for my mama. My
I'm
mama's
going
sick.
for
She's
nobody.
suffering from a loss. My brother was murdered. She can't handle this. I got this.
Let's reset.
Please.
Mr. Burnett,
Yes, ma'am.
were you around when her mother first found out she was pregnant? Do you remember that happening?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes, I remember it happening.
And so when that happened, was there a certain guy that everyone said, okay, well, he's the father, or she
Yeah, there's a white dude that said was the daddy.
So that was the word on
Yeah,
the street at that point.
exactly.
You all kind of just said, all right, then it's his.
Yeah, pretty
And you
much.
said it's not.
Went on with my life.
Miss Fuel, did you ever hear about this gentleman being the person everyone thought was your father in the beginning?
Yes, Your Honor. He was a possibility, but clearly I'm not mixed.
Who's giving you information?
As an adult, I asked my mom, be honest with me. She told me that there was another possibility.
Miss Fuel, have you attempted to have a father-daughter relationship at all? Have you tried to establish a relationship with Mr. Burnett?
Yes, I'm the one who reached out to him. He even said,
No, she attacked me on Facebook is what she did.
Hold on now. What is going on now?
because he
No, she made a comment on my daughter's page or something. And I was like, Toy, don't tell people I'm your dad when you don't know the truth.
No, Your Honor. His daughter right there, posted a meme that said something about fathers ain't. She can agree with that. She knows he hasn't been in none of his 3 kids' life either.
Whatever.
He's a deadbeat father.
Okay.
It's what I was told, and I commented 100. That's true.
Does anybody have any of these messages so I can try to make sense
Yes,
of
Your
it?
Honor.
I'd like to see them. Ron, can you hand me that evidence, please?
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is after her Facebook post.
So the first one starts, Mr. Burnett says, "Stop it, Toy. There ain't no proof. Until I get proof, I love you like a niece."
Your Honor, mind you, this is 2 days after my brother's murderers were captured. So, of course, I'm in my emotions. Of course, I'm in my feelings. And, yes, I did badger him on Facebook. Yes, I did. I'm not going to lie about it.
So let me go to the next one. It says, at some point you said, like you said, after all these years, does it really matter? Yes, it does. I need to know who to blame for my childhood, all the suffering I had to go through. Yes, it matters because I have siblings I don't know. I'm going to prove you wrong, Walter. You respond, Mr. Burnett, prove your mama wrong, not me.
Period. I knew your mom's here.
Uncle.
My mom never told me Walter was my father. She told me as an adult. She was embarrassed.
She's embarrassed. Everybody slept with her mom. We've never had no bitterness in our life ever, other than this what's going on right here. I ain't got no harsh feelings towards her. I've always looked at her as my niece, and.
But do you understand, Mr. Burnett, because of what she's been told, she believes you're her father, and when you speak to her, it feels like she's being rejected.
She's been told. That's just like me saying that he's my uncle.
Well, I mean,
You know, he's not.
But listen, but no one in your family, no one close to you, no one you love and trust that knows you and knows the other person has told you that news. It's different circumstances.
Okay.
I mean, really. I know this may be difficult for you to accept and difficult for you to take in, especially since you regard her as your niece. But if you put yourself in her shoes for a minute, this girl is just running around trying to figure out who her real father is, and people have fed her a story. Well, and then you admit, yeah, I did sleep with your mother. In her mind, she's saying, well, it's even more of a real possibility that what they're saying could be true.
Okay.
That's how she feels.
I understand that, but how do I feel?
I'm disappointed that you on Facebook, as old as you are, engaging in nonsense back and forth with a 30-year-old girl that's your niece. If she did that, you should have picked up the phone and said, come on, let's go out to lunch. We need to have a conversation about what's going on, because we're not going to do this. Instead of going back and forth with a 30-year-old girl after her brother died about something that you're so adamant is not the truth.
I wasn't aware nobody died. I didn't know. I didn't know he died.
What?
I live in Arizona.
I thought that this was like your niece.
She is, but I live in Arizona.
But he wasn't like your nephew? I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying you said you've known this girl all her life and it was like your niece. No. Word didn't get back to you, no matter where you live, that her brother had been tragically murdered?
No, not for weeks afterwards. I didn't. She's my niece. I don't really know her other siblings.
You didn't know the other siblings the way you
I don't know them.
Okay.
I don't know them.
So you did not get that information?
No, ma'am.
So when this was going on, when she says she was in a bad place because of her brother, you're not aware of that even happening at that point?
That's why it wasn't like a long message. I just made a couple little comments like, Toy, don't say nothing unless you know.
You are Mr. Burnett's biological daughter, and you've never heard your father could potentially be her biological father as well.
Oh, man.
My mom was real with me.
Well,
Did she tell you about everybody else she slept with?
Baby.
All 20 people?
Yes, she did.
I can tell this really hurts you.
I feel like I'm carrying the shame. I'm the child here.
You did nothing to cause this. In the case of...
Bring him here to prove that he's my father.
Toy, don't say nothing unless you know.
He told me that he was going to show up at my wedding and have the father and daughter dance with me, but he did not show up.
That's never been
You
said
never
to
said
me.
that?
No.
Oh, my God. We're under oath, right?
Yeah, we sure are. I hope so.
You never told her?
No.
You never told me you was going
No, she's not my daughter. Why would I show up at her father-daughter dance?
Well, maybe because you were her uncle and you knew she didn't have a father.
No, that's not it.
So you never promised her that?
No.
Never had that conversation?
No.
You don't recall that?
No.
Wow.
Did you ask him because you believe truly that he's your biological father?
I didn't ask him. He volunteered. He offered. He said, I would be honored to have that first dance with you.
I was in the hospital at the time, so...
When were you in the hospital?
It doesn't matter. I was in the hospital.
Because you're lying. You're a liar.
Whatever.
That's all he does is lie.
That's all I do.
Why were you in this conversation that led to him volunteering for this?
I was taking it up on myself to get a DNA test. He said, okay, I'm going to fly you down to Arizona. I'll pay for half of your fare. We'll get a drugstore DNA test and do it that way.
No way.
All of these conversations you say never happened.
No, I have never said nothing about flying her to Arizona or...
You said you would pay for half of my ticket. Why would I have to pay for half? I shouldn't have to pay for nothing.
I shouldn't either.
You ain't paid for nothing.
I ain't going to.
You don't even take care of your 3 kids.
Yeah. Mr. Burnett, I want to hear from your witness. I want to see if someone else can shed light on this. This story is a lot. Please stand, ma'am. Step to the podium and state your name for the court.
I'm Janae Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, you are Mr. Burnett's biological daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, do you remember knowing Miss Fuel all your life? Was she like your cousin?
No, I knew of her because, like they said, they married into my family, but that's it. I knew who she was. I've never had any contact with her, like maybe like a barbecue or something where she was there, but it's never been like we have conversations or anything like that.
You weren't cousins, you didn't hang out together, none of that. But you've never heard any rumors or things that your father could potentially be her biological father as well?
No, ma'am. That's a lie.
Now, why are you saying that's a lie?
Because we talked about it on Facebook.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
But, okay, we talked about it, though.
And what did you talk about?
We talked about, she was just like, well, my dad told me that it could be many possibilities. Her dad, whatever her dad fed her, she basically was talking about my mom, too. So clearly they had a discussion about it. So clearly you knew about it.
I never said I didn't know about it. I just found out 2 years ago.
Now, did your father say to you that he was one of those possibilities?
Basically, he told me he had relations with her and there were other possibilities. He never said anything about him being the possibility.
But he did say to you, she's looking for her father, or she believes I'm her father.
Yeah. So when I had to reach out to her on Facebook, I asked her, I was like, hey, so I heard, you know, you're saying my dad is your dad. And then that's when we got into our conversation, basically her just telling me her side.
Right.
And I told her mine.
And I can tell this really hurts you, Miss Fuel. Like
it does. It does. People don't understand. I suffered so much. Throughout my childhood, I went through so much, and I'm carrying it. My child was so rough, and I get to see him take it with these other 3 kids. He even took care of a child that wasn't his. I'm a possibility, so why didn't you at least try to find out if I'm your child? But you over here taking care of another chick's baby that ain't yours, but you want to keep telling me, oh, your mama this, your mama that. You didn't even try. You didn't even try. Why didn't you try if you knew it was a possibility?
Because I knew
Stand up and be a man for your kids.
I knew your mom's history.
What about your history? You're worse than her.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not. It's fact,
I'm
man.
worse than your mom.
Yes, you are. You are today.
That's your opinion.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Can you hear her, Mr. Burnett? She's just saying.
I understand. I know that she's hurting.
No, you don't.
Until the truth has been told to us, you can't just say stuff. That's just like her mama just said. Her mama said he's your dad.
No, she didn't.
She ain't 100% sure.
My mama told me that.
She's
she was
not
real with me. My mama was real with me.
Well,
Did she tell you about everybody else she slept with?
Yes, she did, baby.
All 20 people?
Yes, she did.
12, 25
you weren't even conceived yet. Why are you
It doesn't
standing
matter
up?
here.
Why are you
It doesn't
standing
matter.
up?
I'm here.
Okay,
You don't need to be.
listen. Wipe them tears. Let's get some order. Miss Fuel, did your mother, when you say your mother really kept it real with you, I want to be honest. If she did sleep with other people as well, did she give you their names too? She did.
Yeah.
Did you try to contact those men as well?
No, it's only one other person.
No way.
This is what I need to ask you. Are you here hoping he's your father?
I believe that he is, so I wouldn't be here because I feel like I'm carrying the shame.
I think that's very real because most people can understand how you can feel confused, how you feel like you were left behind, how you feel like he's rejecting you. It really touches me because that's a tough burden to have to bear for a young girl. You did nothing to cause this. You know that, don't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm happy that I'm here today with you all so that I can give you some answers because we need them. I have the results for you. Ron?
Your Honor.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Fuel v. Burnett, when it comes to 31-year-old LaToya Fuel, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Burnett, you more of a real possibility.
He even took care of a child that wasn't his.
Mr. Burnett, you are not her father.
Apologize. I'm sorry.
Come on. It's okay. There's no apologies. It's all right.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Miss Fuel, are you all right?
No. But I will be. But it does bring closure, and I really apologize. I'm sorry to both of y'all.
Apology accepted. There's no apology needed, though.
You were only going off of something you were told. And if you had to get answers to be able to move forward, so be it. Do you want to continue to look for your biological father?
No, I can't. I'm not. No, ma'am.
I know this wasn't the news you wanted, but what I could give you is the truth. And that's going to help you. And, sir, I hope after seeing what this young girl has gone through, your niece, a young girl you have openly called your niece, that you will check on her.
Sure will. It's the right thing to do, and I bleed in my heart that other things have transpired that her mom didn't tell her all the truth. And that's just, I believe. And it may be wrong, but we're here for the truth, right?
And you just take some time to think about it. We have counseling and resources for you all, okay? I wish you the very best of luck. The court is adjourned.